Eavesdrop.
Welcome back, or welcome to our Eavesdrop podcast. Today on the couch, I have a very, very special man with me, Mr. Buzwe Ngcayisa, a ceramic artist. He's our neighbor. He is our friend, and we are delighted to have you. Thank you very much for joining me today.
It's my pleasure, Linda. I'm so glad and feel honored to be hosted by you.
I've been looking forward to this chat for so long. Can you tell us a little bit about yourself, where you grew up, and what led you to your journey in ceramics?
Okay. A bit about myself. I was born in Sweden. Born in Sweden and on 1908 on the dot. So it's a time where our country was also going through stuff, and the African pride restoration was the call. To an extent that in my family, as the only one, because I'm the youngest, who did not have a so-called Christian name or English name.
Wow.
Both my names were Buzwe and Ngcayisa. So that's the time I grew up, and I went to Ngcayisa Lower Primary, Garrett, Kwezi Long, So that's my schooling, all within Sweden. Yes. And for playing and such, we would with friends go to either Carbon Black, walk as a group, or to Red House River, or to the clay site. But at the clay site, we would normally get into cupboards or basins that have been disposed just to glide, because they just like that and it'll be dusty and all. And for me, that's where the play and fun came from. And you would hear in my poem where I say when it was 1999, Y2K was coming in, was matching, and I was doing electrical engineering. But there was those sayings about everything that is engineering or technology related or based, it's gonna crash. So I had to rethink what course would survive such, and the memory of clay, because within the arts there's just a lot of fine art, that won't be me. As much as I like art, I think clay, and the funny thing is that clay on its own, it remembers when it's raw. If you dent it, that dent will remain there up until you remove it. And if it dries and that dent is there, it will remain there. So the memory of this amazing raw material, came from such playing and finding that this is just a unique material for me. And so I took it to college. PE College then had the art and design department. From there I went to PE Tech, remember us? Before the matches and that. It's where I did my ceramic design. Yes, under leadership of Bianca Whitehead and a very inspiring Tata Masuku, who took me into drawing, which became my specialty in clay, because there's quite a lot of building techniques that you find, and the wheel drawing is the one on that wheel, so Tata is the one who took me into drawing. And since then, I've just been stuck with clay, and it's character, it sticks to you once you touch it. So briefly, that's my journey with this material.
I'm hearing so many extraordinary things. Like it obviously was within you, even in your childhood. You're talking about, you know, going to the clay sites and just playing with it, and looking at world events and being shaped by what was happening in our country at that time. And we will be playing your poem at the end of this interview, but you said something very profound in that poem, which is clay does not discriminate. It sticks to anybody's hands. And now you've said it also has a memory. So it's quite a profound form of art to be working with. Art, sometimes I find parents aren't always encouraging children to pursue that. Were you encouraged when you said, I'm going from Mr. Electrical Engineer to art? What was that like for your family?
I think I was supported, even though there were regrets from me and parents, but they were not voiced out because, you know, they had to support as long as I was still studying, you know. And also up until now, it's still the same thing that in our communities, art is taken as a hobby, and you can't study or invest your time in it and say you earn your living out of art, because many of our families have not gotten that, where they've got someone who has made it with just art, you know. But yeah, in the past it used to be like that, because our daily living was all about art, craft. We'll use what we have around us to make the shelters, the storage jars, even, you know, for our beauty adornment. That is art, you know. Even our beading and all that, you know. So I think, again, because of being in a country where culture was not put ahead to form part in solving our social ills, from health-wise, even economical-wise, and to bring people together. Like they invested in sport, you know, because it's the same thing. And so our culture and this knowledge has left a huge hole of not seeing any value or any worth carrying this forward. Because our dignity, our worth, like I was saying, even identity is within the arts, it's within the culture, you know, across the world. This is not just Africa or just black people, but across the world. You get the people's identity and morals and source, a backbone of their economy based on their culture, on their identity, and it makes it much easier, because that's natural for you when you monetize your culture, you make it a backbone of your survival. Yes.
So you're talking about culture and identity. You have a very, very cool program called Claiming Your Inheritance. Claiming is spelled C-L-A-Y, Claiming Your Inheritance, which is such a powerful concept. Can you tell us more about that? And also, just before we started shooting, we were talking about some of the pieces you've brought with you today. I would like to zone in on this specific one. So this, I believe you said, was made from clay, from the soil in Zwede itself. So for viewers watching, Zwede is just across the road from Missionvale. So I love that you've taken something from there. So yeah, talk to me a little bit about claiming your inheritance and using the natural clay around you.
Okay. First of all, the term itself came from a good friend of mine, Bulelani Boy, who then was the manager of Atek in Bed Street. Initially, I had Ngcayisa udongo lwethu, meaning bring back our clay. But in isiXhosa, everyone else was saying, Mayibuye Africa, for me, it was about clay, what comes back with clay, because we'll have, yes, in that way. So it just threw that one to me, claiming our inheritance. I was like, huh, this is cool.
Yeah.
And I took that. Obviously, it's from where he saw the content of my writings that it was about that. And for me, the inheritance was that I saw that we are suffering a whole lot of internal conflicts, and they are the cause of the most ailments that we don't understand, because we are not present. We are not connected with our immediate environment. And that starts with the home, the household. Are you connected with the people there, or even what's there, and then the community and so on. So, and what you inherit, you don't search for that. It gets given to you. So supposedly, if we are linked or connected to our inheritance, then things will be better. And for me, I focused on clay, but it's not about clay. It's about anything that could be in your environment. It could be Dolofia prickly pear, it could be aloe, it could be just grass, it could be maybe water around you. It could be the people around you, that you've inherited. But how are you using them? So it's coming from that. And in the presentation itself, I will have clay lamps. Everyone, when they come in, I issue a poem and the lamp of clay. So as I'm speaking, they also feeling, though, because a whole lot of people don't even know or can comprehend that what we see as dirt and just soil can be transformed to something that is vitrified and beautiful and functional. I still have some of our senior citizens thinking that all the cups and saucers are made of bones. Yeah, well, that speaks on knowledge itself. So, it's all about that. Then people will just march and be pinching, and at the end of the presentation, they get so wild that they pinched a little bowl or something extraordinary when they never touched clay. Yes, and secondly to that, I am of the belief, because it's an opinion, it's my opinion, that the more we are connected with what we've inherited again, which is nature, the earth, the oxygen, the trees, fellow man or fellow woman, it's the more we'll be fine within our emotional element, and also it will be easy to live together and use each other, in a good way. So how many times do your feet touches the earth? When was the last time did you walk barefoot? Because clay is the earth, so when you pinch it, there's instant movement that goes to your brain, that releases whatever that was tension immediately, because you've got receptors that takes that through. And the more you're working your motor, your wrist, and so on and so on. This is raw clay. I'm not talking about ceramics now. So similar when one is walking barefoot on the soil, your body receives from the earth. And the other thing for me with claiming our inheritance, because when you claim, there's ownership. When you own, there's value, there's worth. There's value, there's worth that comes with that. So it's designed around that for us as people to see that we have it all.
You've said a lot of really meaningful things there. I think we live in such a fast-paced world, in such a materialistic world, in such a technology-driven world that, when last did your feet touch the earth? And, I think we've become disconnected from many things that are right around us. How do you see clay as a connection to ancestry or to tradition?
All right. One thing about clay, there's this ancient view, and across the continents, where some people believe that we, as mankind, were molded out of the soil, and specifically clay. This is across even religious, texts. Some, touch on this, and coming to us now as Abakosa, the clay provides us with shelter because the huts are made out of that soil, that's clay, and for our beauty as well, the adornment, the imbola, whether for skin treatment or cultural rites. Yes, the imbola, it's also clay in essence, with oxides, whether it's yellow oak or red oak, or the gray one. You see, so it's the same clay. And I've come also to realize that there's certain type of clays that you can use to detox, as clay has the character of binding. So when you've just ingested it, it will like draw in and
take in all the moisture,
toxic, and to take it out. Now we're speaking on health inside. And for other people also to lose weight, they will do that because when you gain weight, it means there's something that's not supposed to. So that's the link with the culture and play, that it formed like basis of our day-to-day living. And the feeling, because there's also the feeling that comes with play of belonging. Feeling of belonging.
It's connecting you to a world that was a long time before you. Would you say that working with clay, that the physical process, does that offer emotional and spiritual healing as well?
Very much. Funny that I brought in some rock clay with me. Okay, that's for another time. So I was thinking that we would be doing that because we have papers and so on. It does quite a lot. And just like I was just highlighting the part of when you feel like you belong, because it allows you, it's so easy now where we live to feel rejected or not belonging. So this clay soil in your hand, when you dent it, it will allow you. When you mold it in a certain way, it will allow you. And then you'll feel like, here is something that accept me as I am. Sense of belonging.
I think that sense of belonging, is much more important than I think we've realized. We have had you with us as a facilitator when we launched our art project, and you had children, teenagers really. I think they were about 14, 15 years of age at the time. Can you tell me a little bit more about that experience, and particularly within the context of where those kids came from? We at the care center, we work with a lot of troubled youth, or youth that just really don't have it easy at home. And you're talking about a sense of belonging. I think that's one of the number one things for any human being, but particularly in your teenage years, right?
Yeah,
You want to
really.
fit in, you want to feel a sense of community and belonging. So talk to me a little bit more about when you were facilitating the classes, what was that experience like, and do you have any sort of standout memory from that time?
Wow. For me, the learners themselves, because they came from the high schools, most, you know, and most of them, like most of our people, have never touched clay. And the way they opened up to clay, and not just clay, all the creative skills that were offered there, because that also played a part. That we had beading, we had screen printing, we had fine art, you know, at the same time, and they would rotate. And the zeal to learn motivated us more than anyone else. And coming in on Saturdays, you know, where many of them would choose to stay at home or party and do what, it touched me quite a lot. And up until now, when I meet them, I'll hear someone calling me and it will be one of the guys, you know, and meaning that there's something that is has been transformed within them that makes them not to forget. And I also believe that these creative activities and art itself has also academic benefits.
Tell me more.
On that, I think it also comes with when you find identity, you find being accepted, or your uniqueness is embraced, because that's what comes also with art. We might be drawing both of us, but different things. And whosoever facilitating will not look if you've drawn a fish and they've got a bird, but just the techniques, and they will focus to that because you connect more with what you drew there. So being allowed to be yourself releases such a level of confidence, you know, in self, in achieving, that when you are met with challenges or problems, you are confident that you can solve them, you know, and that comes with art generally. And it's something that is so sad, and we are crying a lot that we lost in our communities, the art and sports in our schools.
Yeah.
It's so sad, and we don't understand why.
Yeah, that is really, really sad. Like you said, it has so many benefits on so many different levels.
Exactly.
And I think there's great satisfaction also in making something yourself and seeing that come to fruition. And I think once you are creatively stimulated, it opens up your mind to more and more and more, and you're able to take in more information. So what you're saying about it having an impact academically, it does, because you're almost training your brain to think out the box and to think out of the norm and to question things that other people may not do. What role do you think creativity plays in communities that face economic or social challenges? So, you know, in Missionvale, we have, not just in Missionvale, but in many communities, there's lots of social ills. What role do you think creativity could play? Is it a positive outpouring? You know, could you throw yourself into that rather than becoming part of this never-ending cycle of social ills, it seems? Like, could it be a good outlet?
It is very much. As human beings, we are social in our nature and also expressive. And in the absence of platforms to express yourself, your soul or your child within yourself feel violated. And to me, that's the beginning of violence. To externalize it now, whether I take it to the point of substance abuse or get physical with the next person, it's the outcome of not being able to express myself. You know, so the more we have such platforms, whether for performing arts or visual arts, it's the better our communities will be.
So it's really something that could be a very, very powerful tool in transformation.
It is very much, and then added to that now, it's providing money for you, because whatever that you create or your production, if it's performances, and it connects with the community, people are willing to come and pay. You get something out of it. And that's the economical aspect of it.
Sure.
Yeah.
And so you get something economical out of it, but you also have, you know, a safe space to do something constructive rather than destructive, like violence.
Exactly.
And at the same time, people can hear stories. I think we're storytellers by nature, and that goes across cultures, across, you know, as human beings, people respond to stories. And so I'm really excited to have people like you that share the stories and that use it as such a powerful medium for change. I take note of the schools you mentioned that you went to, Garrett, Kwezi Lomso. Those are two of the schools that we actually happen to work with. So what advice do you have for young creatives in, you know, townships or in similar circumstances who want to pursue art? What advice do you have for them?
Hey, we're living in a time where there's just a lot of digital instruments that can enhance our knowledge and also our creativity. And we, as generation before them, we were not exposed as much to that. We would like to. It's only now that. So, with the young ones now, they should use that, explore that quite a lot, and also work on the marketability of the products. You know, because when you are just product based, you're just creating and it does not transform to money. It will get to a point where it will stress you quite a lot, because this is what you invest your time in. It needs to pay you back. And for it to pay you back, you either collaborate with someone who is into marketing or sales, or you take a short course on that, so that you've got both, you know, the skill where you produce and now how you market and sell. Because that's quite a lot of us who are struggling on that element of, you know, marketing and selling, making things that are sellable.
That's very true. That's very practical advice. Thank you for that. Finally, this podcast is called Eavesdrop.
Okay.
And I want to know if somebody could hear your thoughts, maybe while you're busy creating, while you're in your studio, what kind of thoughts might they overhear?
I think with me, back to the potter's wheel, because there, with the lump of clay, you need to center it first. And you communicate with the lump of clay after wedging it, where you're preparing, taking all the air that is trapped in the clay. And you're somehow saying, please work with me. Please allow. At times, you're not in a good space, but you need to produce, you know. So it will feel like, hey, this one is talking with clay, which is just, unresponsive, and so.
Yeah.
So it will be those kind of talks. And the time you say, well, don't.
Yeah.
Yes, where I'm forcing play, I'm not listening to me. Yes, so yeah, I don't know if it answers.
Yeah, no, you talk to it like it's another person, so it's an
Yeah.
extension of you.
Yeah,
That's
definitely.
great.
So,
Thank you so much for your time. It was a privilege and an honor to have you, and we look forward to doing much more collaborations with you going forward. Thank you for watching this episode. We hope you enjoyed it. Please like and subscribe, and very importantly, share it with your friends and family as well. Thank you so much. We've just finished our lovely conversation with Buzwe, and just as he was about to leave, he casually drops into conversation that he's been invited to Ghana to a cultural exchange program, which will be twofold. One part will be where you will be presenting lectures, and another one, an opportunity for you to learn from guest educators from around the world. This is a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. The finances are in the way. You need to raise 37,000 very, very quickly. The conference starts on the 4th of July, so this is a heartfelt appeal to anybody watching. Any contribution, big or small, towards making this dream a reality will be deeply, deeply appreciated. If you can make a contribution of any size, please contact us. You can contact me directly at the Missionvale Care Center. We'll link all the details below, or you can write them down quickly. info@missionvale.org.za is my email address, or send us a WhatsApp on 076 205 0497. And if you go onto our website and you click on the donate button, there's various ways of making contributions to the care center. If you would like to specifically contribute to Buzwe's trip to Ghana, please make a contribution there, and then use the reference Buzwe, Buzwe, and we will make sure that all funds generated go directly to him and his travel costs. Let's hope we can make this a reality. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Claiming our inheritance. We are claiming our inheritance. My first memory with clay came with fun and play, gliding down clay hills on plastic containers. Urban joys came with racing and contenders. At the hill foot, we would rise up with a dusty clay layer. Very little did we know of its power to transform, until we mingled with our friends and cousins from the rural areas, whom would craft out a world of their own using clay. Thereon, I found clay to be harmless and accommodating to many, as it would not discriminate but would stick to anyone's hands. Claiming our inheritance. We are claiming our inheritance. The teenagers are as character molding in essence, where everything needs logic to make sense. Late 90s sirens heralded the technological permanent crash. Y2K had many in dismay and perplexed. I looked down in search of purpose and worth, grounded myself to sustain, found my refuge within the earth. I followed the plant's lead. To bear fruit, one have to submerge. Clay taught me that thorough wedging breaches the air gaps. Otherwise, the consequences are so hard to bear. Had to knead the dough for my bread. Claiming our inheritance. We are claiming our inheritance. Playing mad had to be my stance. When clay is a result of natural volcanic events, it becomes the past to the valued ceramics items. A layman's perception has it that clay soil occupies a large portion of our landmass, but it doesn't equate to its revenues. Only a few in the private sector have a different testament. Now it's time the clay be a part of the components that we use to deal with the injustices that have our people downtrodden. claiming, claiming our inheritance. We are claiming, we are claiming, we are claiming our inheritance. A state of cultural and spiritual dissonance has had us forgetting of the shelter, the healing, adornment, and the commodity we find with clay. Sustainable development was once a call, but it fell on deaf ears. Derailed from our present and immediate environment has had us seeking our redemption from as far as beyond the skies. In the abundance of clay, why aren't we sheltered and fed? Ceramic wares in our cupboards and display cabinets are imported from UK and China. African dream will remain but an illusion if we thrive in dependence unto others. Praises to Dongo even though she's underrated. Praises to Dongo even though she's underrated. Claiming, claiming, claiming our inheritance. We are claiming, we are claiming, we are claiming our inheritance.